The end of one year and the beginning of a new year is always one of my very favorite times. I love the new beginnings of it. I love the possibility. I love the goal setting. I love all of the things. What I wanted to do is take you with me on a little journey that's going to possibly blow your mind. We are going to go back in time to the date that everyone sort of points to as far as, oh, what would happen if 2008 happened again? We're gonna go there and I'm gonna show you how we got from there to here. We're gonna review the median sales prices. Guess what year had the lowest? I'm going to tell you. We're also going to review the number of sales and the number of active listings, see how that affects prices. And we're going to also hit the average mortgage rates, give you some perspective on that. So stick with me, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. All right, you guys know that nothing gets me more excited than a bunch of statistics. So I have got for you, all of these numbers are all going to be explained and you're going to know exactly how we got from there to here, from 2008 to 2023, from the bottoming out of everything to a real affordability issue. How many of you remember 2008? So 2008, of course, is the year that everyone points to. That's when the bottom fell out of everything. What if we have another crash just like 2008? So let's go back and look at 2008 and then move forward in time to see how that affected what we're dealing with right now. So if you can see here in 2008, the median sales price, you guys, was $175,000. We had 461 homes on the market. I picked just 1 month for the active listings because, of course, it changes all the time. So all of these numbers here are for June of whatever particular year. So this year in June, 611 active residential listings, and average mortgage rates were running just over 6% in 2008. Now you guys know that's when things started to go sideways a little bit. So what happened after that? Well, in 2009, which really was when our local market started to get affected, our feeder markets are historically California and Las Vegas. So whatever happens in Las Vegas and California is going to hit our market, but not necessarily at the same time. We're just a little beat behind, so we have to wait for the effects to move through those feeder markets, and then we fill them here locally. So in 2009, we actually had a median sales price of $146,000, and the number of sales went up to 490, and the number of active listings in June of that year was 671. Now, it gets better, or worse, depending on your perspective, I suppose. 2010, our median sales price dropped to $130,000. We had 526 sales though, and then our inventory dropped to 577 active residential listings in June of that year. Now, come with me to 2011. 2011 was quite devastating. Between 2011 and 2012, it was so tough in our market. You can see in 2011, our median sales price dropped to $110,000. $110,000. Not for lots, you guys, for homes. $110,000 was our median sales price in 2011 for residential properties. We had 560 sold transactions, 1,421 active listings. So you can see that this huge amount of inventory interacts with this real reduction in the sales price. Now, I want to let you know too, between 2011 and 2012, up to 67% of our market was either a foreclosure or a short sale. It was absolutely devastating for our market. People were losing their homes, people were losing their businesses. It was so tough. We're going to talk about the absorption rate a couple of different times here in this video. So if you look at 2011, the absorption rate was 13.36. What does that mean? Who cares about the absorption rate? What that means is that if no additional properties were to hit the market, it would take 13.36 months to sell everything that we had. You compare that to where we are today, it is a stark difference, and we're going to get there in just a minute. Okay, 2012, you can see we finally started to come out of this. Median sales price 117,000 and 622 sold, and our inventory did start to get absorbed a little bit here. We had 1,099 in June of that year. Now, people point to 2013, 2014, somewhere between 2012 and 2014. You can see right here, we had 145,500 was our median sales price, and 617 sold residential transactions. Somewhere in here between 2012 and 2014, depending on who's reporting and what expert you're listening to, building a new construction, building of new homes completely dropped off. And it makes sense, right? I mean, builders are looking at this level of inventory and going, I can't compete with that. I can't build new construction and compete with foreclosures and short sales, everything else that was going on in the market. So having this amount of inventory back here is what started the process to get us where we are now. There was so much inventory back then. Builders were going out of business. Entire subdivisions were being foreclosed on. Again, it was devastating in our market. So across the country, though, builders really started to pull back. And since then, we have not had enough homes being built in order to keep up with demand, in order to keep up with demographics. We've got all of these great millennials who are aging into home ownership, all these new households being formed. We should have been building homes since 2014, and we haven't. And you can see why builders might feel like that was not a great decision at that time. The other thing that I want to point out to you, because I always like my statistics to be precise and accurate. So an interesting thing, in 2014, we had 617 sold transactions. There were a ton of entries into the MLS that had 0 as the sales price. So there were a lot of agents here locally that were trying to not disclose that final purchase price. So my thought is that those prices were probably low. That's why they didn't want them to be disclosed. And so this number, this 145,500, I think could be actually a little bit lower, but I can only report to you the data that I have. So moving forward, 2015, you can see we're starting to climb out of this hole here. Our median sales price is up to 154,500. The number of solds is going up again, so 745. And look at this, June actives completely drop off. Look what happened just in those few years here. So in June of 2015, we had 372 actives, and our absorption rate in June, you guys, it went down to 6.09. So from 2012 to 2015, our absorption rate, the number of homes on the market, the absorption rate got cut in half. That's crazy. That's how fast our market was coming back at that time. So moving forward, 2016, you can see we're at 175,000 and 773 sold, and we're continuing to go up here, and the June actives are 342. Now here's something else, 3.5% for our average mortgage rate. And you can see how we went 6.5543, 3.5%. Back in those days, I was actually doing a radio show for our local market here. And I kept saying on this radio show, these interest rates cannot sustain themselves. I kept waiting and waiting for the interest rates to go up, and it didn't happen until last year. So anyway, sometimes even the best data points you in the wrong direction. So you can see here, 2017 we're going up, 2018 we're going up. I'm going to move this down a little bit so you can see this. So if we look at 2019, which is sort of where the most recent issues started, I think we can agree. You can see how the number of sales just keeps going up and up and up and up, and the number of active listings just keeps going down and down and down. Those two things are interacting together, and that's what's creating that shortage of inventory with all the buyer demand. That's what's causing the prices to go up. So 2019 $230,000 is our median sales price, $896 on the solds, 266 actives, and we're in the low fours as far as an average interest rate. Now, 2020 happened. We all remember 2020 so fondly, don't we? 2020 happened, and we're at 258 on our median sales price. Number of solds, 896, 266 actives, and our interest rates are still in the low fours, which is still fabulous, right? Okay, 2021. This is the year after when everybody sort of felt like the world stopped turning, right? So 2021, our median sales price jumped from 258 to 325. That is a big jump in 1 year. You can see that we had 1,110 sold transactions, and our inventory in June went down to 106. It was during this year that we actually had 1 month where our inventory was down to 54. Like if you wanted to buy a house in this area, you had 54 choices, and that's across all of the price ranges. So again, you can see how the inventory is really driving the story on what we're talking about here. Interest rates went down under 3%. Is that crazy? It just seems like so long ago now, doesn't it? So interest rates down 2.96%, 106 active listings in June. All of these sold. Our absorption rate went to under 3 months. So when we had all of this inventory down here, our absorption rate was more than a year. Like if no other properties were added to the market, it would take more than a year to sell everything that we had at the rate that things were selling. In 21, under 3 months. So if no new inventory was added to the market, it would only take 3 months to sell everything that we had available as far as residential listings. Of course, then 2022, we jumped up to 385,000 for our median sales price in this area. 936 sold, and then in June, our inventory did start to go up just a little bit, which helped because you can see in 23, our median sales price did go down just a little bit to 366,000. So what is the point of all of this? I'm glad that you're still here with me. What I wanted to kind of point out is that from 2008 to 2012, if you remember that period of time, the issue that we were dealing with was people losing their homes, people losing their businesses. It was so hard, just heart-wrenching, some of these scenarios. But what we're dealing with now in, say, 2021 and moving forward to now is people not being able to get access to being able to purchase a home. So we're out of balance again, kind of the opposite direction, but we are out of balance just a little bit. So hopefully we are going to add some more inventory. I know our local builders are just building their little guts out. And I don't know if you saw my short, Governor Cox, Governor of Utah, has announced an initiative in his budget where he wants to have 35,000 starter homes built in the next 5 years. That is very aggressive. The legislature still has to vote on it. It's not a done deal yet, but that's the goal. So what do I see for 2024? I think for 2024, if interest rates come down like they are predicted to do, that is going to create more market demand. We've talked about this before. People who were either choosing to stay on the sidelines or not able to get into the market are going to find that they now have the ability to get in. So interest rates come down. That's likely going to happen. Could be 3 months, could be 6 months, but probably that's the direction we're going from everything that I'm hearing in the industry. Once those additional buyers get into the market, we are still having inventory issues. So I think that prices may start to go up again. That is kind of what I see coming at us for 2024. Now, 2024 is also an election year. Could there be another black swan event? Could there be another surprise that sends the market in a completely different direction? Yes. So the information that I am giving you is based on the best information that I have now. Obviously, stay tuned because I'm going to bring you whatever it is that's going on We're going to talk about it and we're going to work through it together. Happy New Year. I wish you the best. I hope you are successful and healthy and happy in 2024. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you have comments. We'll see you soon.